guys, Coach Kurt. So if you've been following my channel, you know that I recently took up judo. I originally decided I was going to train judo to supplement my BJJ, but for those who train judo will understand, I'm quickly falling in love with it, and it's maybe teetering the other way where I'm going to continue to do my BJJ to supplement my new judo fix. Time will tell, of course, but this is about judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I truly believe they're the same thing, opposite ends of the same coin, but you know that judo is the art that basically started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is, I think, a fact that most people are aware of. You know, you look at this old video, this is these old judo masters doing judo, and if you look at their ground game here, very similar to modern Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, maybe not quite as sophisticated, because let's face it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has really come a long way as far as the ground game is concerned, but unfortunately has, because of the rule set, like with the IBJJF, you got a lot of butt scooting and guard pulling, but you know that's true of any sport. It's going to advance and grow and change with rule sets. And you see modern judo is the same way because it's an Olympic sport. It's really throw heavy based on this scoring and so forth. And they've even done away since the mid-2000s, I believe it was 2005. I could be completely off on that date, where they did away with leg attacks. Your double legs, your single legs, your ankle picks, that kind of stuff. But it's still part of the original system. It's still part of Kodokan Judo, and depending on what school you train at, you'll have access to it. Or if you do what I do, you cross-train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you'll have access to it. I can do the ankle picks, the double legs, the single legs, that kind of stuff when I am at Jiu-Jitsu class. Here you see old video of Elo Gracie. And this is just a small smidget of probably hours and hours of video or film of Elio, but by all accounts, he had a very sophisticated stand-up game, really good judo, elegant, good throws, and his stand-up was definitely judo, and it looked like judo, and his groundwork definitely looked like judo. It wasn't until, time went on, and he started developing the ground game, and it really started getting what you would consider Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu flavor. The two systems, it's all the same thing, right? Arose by another name. And, of course, more evidence can be found when you look at the traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Look at their self-defense techniques, the stand-up grabs and chokes, the standing stuff, as well as some of the stuff on the ground where people are being pushed up against a wall. If you look at the video of the old Kodokan Judo, and Kodokan Judo had a temiwaza, strikes. You don't believe me? Look it up. It wasn't excessively sophisticated, but they had basic, distraction-style strikes. It's all there, and it's still in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in its original form. You look at pictures or video of Rickson Gracie doing the self-defense stuff in his curriculum, the Gracie Academy out of Torrance, the Gracie Combatives, all that stuff. It's still there, being represented, and there are some traditional classic Kodokan Judo schools that still emphasize the kata and the self-defense techniques, and it's all there. Again, it's Jiu-Jitsu is Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo and Jiu-Jitsu are, they're cousins. And so again, a great example of how the rules have adjusted how the system, the art, is practiced. At so many judo schools, Niwaza is not nearly as practiced as extensively as the stand-up Nagewaza stuff, the throwing and so forth. And likewise in Jiu-Jitsu, and there's schools that put a lot of emphasis on stand-up, but it's usually in modern Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or you see the new trend of saying, hey, this is American Jiu-Jitsu. You see a lot of wrestling, mostly in the no-gi especially, but no-gi lends itself better to a wrestling stand-up game. And so you see a huge influence in modern Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with freestyle, folk style wrestling, Greco-Roman, that kind of stuff, catch. These are big influences on modern Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where you won't see that in a gi school as much because the gi lends itself to be, much more closely related to judo. I mean, it's just common sense. It makes sense. That's why I'm a big fan of practicing both. But if you're going to be practicing your judo, jiu-jitsu for self-defense, then I highly recommend that you don't do the kind of takedowns you would get in wrestling as far as going to the knee for obvious reasons. You smash your knee on the cement or in the gravel. You might hurt yourself more than you hurt the person you're fighting. And there's a lot to be said about some of those judo throws. Like, for example, here on the screen, I get tossed really good by my coach with a shoulder throw. If he would have done that to me on the cement, that would have rocked my world. The fight probably would have been over. Versus, for example, I'm showing pulling guard. I was teaching my training partner how to pull guard. That's a thing now in jiu-jitsu. You could do that on the street. I wouldn't recommend pulling guard on the street unless you know for a fact the guy is much bigger, stronger, better ground fighter than you, and you're going to go to the ground anyway. You might as well go down there as safely as possible, and pulling guard is great for that. But unfortunately, pulling guard has become a huge thing in jiu-jitsu where they don't even try for the takedown. They want to get to the ground without earning the ground. And the best way to earn the ground is a throw. You want to be very efficient thrower. And that's why I have decided to do the cross-training between judo and jiu-jitsu. And I think it's peanut butter and jelly. I highly recommend if you want to improve your throwing game that you look at judo. I've found it to be extensively interesting, fun, educational. I'm getting my butt kicked, but it's a lot of fun, and I think you would enjoy it too. All right, so in a nutshell, I believe that judo, jiu-jitsu, same coin, opposite sides. You got your yin and your yang. I think it's all jiu-jitsu. I mean, I think judo is jiu-jitsu. It just has a different flavor. So it doesn't really matter what you're practicing as long as you're enjoying it. But let's wrap this up. I think I've beat this dead horse. Please like, subscribe, and share. Make some comments. Let me know what you think. If I'm wrong, feel free to tell me I'm wrong. All right, everybody, take care and stay safe.
So say we all.
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 Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.